Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Bitcoin Morning Brief. It's morning for me. I understand that it's evening in New York. Sorry for being a little, unorganized with these videos. I really wanted to bring this to you guys last night, but it was my last night in Singapore. I didn't even stay out late. I didn't even drink that much. I know that's rare, but I don't know. I was just tired and busy. So I decided to just do it in the morning. Singapore is absolutely awesome. I am staying in one of the most gorgeous apartments I've ever stayed in. So this is absolutely great. You can see it a little bit behind me. Maybe I'll show you a little bit later. All right, so we got to do a quick follow-up on what's going on in the price. I sent out a quick tweet yesterday, but let's go and take a look. I'll throw on my camera later. Again, I haven't really paid attention to too much news. I've kind of just been looking, keeping an eye on the technicals, and of course the learn trading section. Uh, my seminars are getting a little bit hectic. Like, I know people have started messaging me about Washington and New York. I have still not fully organized those. I should be locking in a venue for Los Angeles within the next 24 hours. So if you are signed up for Los Angeles, and oh man, so about 20 people have already signed up. So this should be really zero, but I'm going to expand this to 30 people. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Los Angeles is being expanded to 30 people max capacity because 20 have already signed up. So there will be 10 seats left out of 30. So if you do want one of those seats, definitely hit me up on Telegram. There's directions down here. And also, if you've already reached out to me about Washington and New York, please reach out to me one more time. I'm going to go through the history of my messages, and I'm going to try and remember everyone who was interested in these events. But if you're watching this, and you've already reached out to me about these, but obviously I have not created a Telegram group chat for attendees. Just to bring yourself back to the top of the list, just to message me one more time, and I swear I will be more organized for the next set of events because I am hiring help, like managers, assistants, because it's can't do it all, can't do it all. And of course, the learn trading section, you learn about trading. All right, let's actually, I'm gonna take a look at the mempool. I want to see what's going on with SegWit adoption. Unfortunate that it's not that much. What happened here? Here it is. Oh, nice. Okay, we're back above 12% of all transactions being SegWit. That is beautiful on the latest set of blocks. The mempool was getting really, really like. I looked yesterday. You can send your transactions really cheaply for like, I don't know, 30, 40 Satoshis per byte. And this is looking good. Let me take a look at the last 2 weeks. I don't want to take a look at the last 3 months. Here's the last 2 weeks. I mean, we've really chewed this through. I mean, right here, just 2 days ago, we were looking at, you still needed to pay over 100 Satoshis per byte for a transaction. And as of right now, you can get your transactions done for 30 Satoshis per byte. I mean, look at the number of transactions in the mempool. This looks really, really good. I guess this is what happens when price goes down a little bit, right? People start hoarding, people stop spending, and people stop spamming, I guess. I mean, it should be cheaper to spam when the price of Bitcoin goes down, not up. But looks like the spam is slowing down. All right, come on, update. I want to go to the pool. I have to go to the airport. Come on. All right, let's look at the price. All right, so we just started a new week. And oh wow, there was NFL yesterday. It took place in the middle of the night. Shoot, I'm actually curious who's going to the Super Bowl. Don't tell me. I'm gonna find out on my own. So we started a new week, and this is, this is bearish, guys. We're officially bearish. I know, I know. In a way, I was late to the party, but the metrics that I use are very, very specific. Okay, so let's take a look at the last year. No, maybe not year, but um, I guess let's take a look at the last 3 times things went bearish. Okay, so right here, I called I called this $3,000 top very, very good. I mean, like I called it to the day, on the day. Okay, so off of this $3,000 high, using the long-term candles, we had a big red candle. Then we had 3 weeks of indecision. And then right here, you see this red line? Oh, I just moved the red line. Let me not do that. This red line here is when things went bearish on the long-term view. Now, this was a big bearish candle that took you down quite a bit. This was a big bearish candle that took you down quite a bit. It went from about 2,400 all the way down to 1,800, and I was also able to call the rebound at 1,800. But this is where things went bearish long term. Then we go up. We had a couple of bearish candles, but things never actually went bearish. In order for me to consider the weekly chart bearish, I need a candle with a red number above it to start trading below a candle with a red number above it. And that didn't happen here. So the only time on this chart since last May, for God's sakes, that things went bearish were here and right there, okay? So because we went up so much, and I called this upswing, I tried calling it as best I could, but to me, things really kind of topped around this 7,500 area. And when we went higher than that, I was looking for a top around this 1,100 area, but we blew right through it. I believe this was all hype on Wall Street starting its futures trading, okay? And the current fall has nothing to do with the futures trading. It just, oh, this thing really doesn't want to update, does it? And the current fall has nothing to do with Wall Street. It has to do with people's unrealistic expectations that Wall Street is going to solve all of Bitcoin's problems, when in fact, all it will do is create more problems for Bitcoin. And now it's just coming down to earth, okay? And my long-term view went bearish again on this red line. This red line took place at around 13,000. Okay, so at around, once we crossed below the low of this candle, once we broke out of below this triangle, things started to look bearish for me. Okay, and they still look pretty bearish long term. Here is the daily view. Okay, so the daily view, we were working on this massive triangle. And once we broke out of this triangle, things started to look bearish. Now, to be absolutely sure that things are bearish, you want to go below this line, okay? And we went below this line at the price of 12,700 or so, okay? So at 12,700, boom, things went bearish because you broke out of the triangle and you went below the low of the last low in this triangle, okay? So that's where you want to confidently short Bitcoin or get out of your bullish trade and wait to buy the dip somewhere, okay? Now, buying the dip somewhere is more difficult than it sounds. Now, keep in mind, I trade these indicators. Oh, wow. What happened here? I don't know what that is. Interesting. Got a bunch of errors here. Oh, well. That happened across the board? No, just on that chart. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so these indicators are momentum indicators, and Bitcoin, I'm stretching Bitcoin by using them for trading, but they've treated me pretty well. Now, when I have a single green number in the middle of a red swing, I almost ignore this number and I treat this like an 8 and this like a 9. So there was a reason for momentum to end. In addition, you have this monster reversal candle. And I'm pretty sure in my last video a couple of days ago, I said that, hey, this red line is real resistance, right? It used to be support, but it's now resistance. And when we went back up, there is a reason this red line is drawn here, okay? We went back up, we hit this line, and we immediately reversed, all right? I guarantee you I talked about this happening in the last video. So please go back to that video. So I'm not surprised at all that we bounced off of this candle. I was only expecting a short-term 1 to 4 day bounce before the, the reassumption of the bear. So now what do we have? We have clear support at this blue Fibonacci line. This blue Fibonacci line has bounced us here. It bounced us all throughout here on the close. If we start falling once again back to this blue line, there is absolutely nothing holding up the price of Bitcoin. That's why in my tweet yesterday, I don't know, the grammar here is terrible. I just read it this morning, right? But I clearly say a fall back under 11,000 opens up this monster gap to the downside. Wow, I still can't get this. What's going on? Come on, trade block. There, done. Mempool. Oh, it's back up to 11. All right, it went up a little bit. I saw it at like 8 megabytes yesterday going down to 7. But look, it's still 24 Satoshis per byte on average. So if you send your Bitcoin transactions with like 50 Satoshis per byte, you're all set. I mean, you'll clear very quickly. So right now is the time to move some of your coin. Anyway, so look at this Fibonacci retrace, right? We have a fairly clear low. We have a fairly clear high. We fell down. The first Fibonacci line didn't do anything. The 50% Fibonacci held us up on the close. The 30, well, it's kind of in the opposite direction, but this is the 32% down. This is the 38% down. This is the 61% down, okay? So is it really 61% down? So we started at 5. We went all the way to 20,000. Yeah, so that's a 30% fall. And that's, oh, the math's weird here. Interesting. Oh, right, because you're not going from 0. Yeah, it makes sense. So that's a 60% fall right here, okay? So the 60% drop of the retrace, not of the final value. It held us up on the close and bounced us hard. It held up, sorry, bounced up on the intraday. It then held us up on the close 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It's not going to hold us up again. It's really, really not. The moment you get back to 11,000, it's trouble time. Okay, so I'm going to take a red arrow and I'm going to make sure that I make a little gap. You see this dotted line and this solid line. So the moment we go into this zone, I'm looking at a fall to 7,500. I just don't see any support there, right? This is one of the problems you have when you go straight up and you don't have any dips. it creates this weird situation. Now, let me give it a few more days. Okay, you have time. You have time to figure this out. Okay. Now, once we fall, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a beautiful retest in a combination of prior highs. See this yellow line? You know what? I'm not even going to create a new line because I don't need to. Let me delete this. I have this line. Oops, nope, not that. Oh, I deleted my line. Okay, here we go. Right there. Right there. Oh, shoot. Having like computer problems again. That's my line. That's my that's my perfect buy the dip. Okay. Like, and this becomes a serious possibility once we fall below it. Okay. Now let's talk about hindsight. Let's talk about I mean, look, I'll be honest with you guys. This area here has been difficult for me to properly time and trade. So what you will see is you will see technical analysts come out of the freaking woodworks. And for the rest of time, they will talk about how they perfectly called the top of the bubble. The reality is they didn't perfectly call the top of the bubble. They just showed up here with their one and only call. Now, a lot of people were saying how if you look at the traditional bubble chart, stock bubble chart, right? This. You know, the traditional stuff, you know, one of these. Oh, I probably shouldn't have clicked on it. One of these, right? You have this blow off top, you have this fall, and you have this return to range. Now, here is the reality of the situation. Is this the return to range? Or is this the return to range, right? Things are not simple in trading world. This point here, right? Is it this point or is it this point, right? So if some other technical analyst starts talking bullshit about how they called this secondary high perfectly, go back to the history of their trades and see if they screwed up. Did they call it here or during this bounce? They were saying, oh, there will be one more bounce between this high, and this high. Okay. Now I have absolutely no idea that this is going to happen, right? Because I have no idea if this is the all-time high. The reason why I was not able to call this as an all-time high is because it did not show up on a 9, on a 5. This showed up on a 9, but this 9 came on a double top. And I know there's no such thing as a double top reversing the market. That's why when this 9 showed up, you have all of these green arrows to the upside, because I knew we were going higher and we were going to go higher substantially. Now, this 9 took place at $16,600. This high took place at $20,000. Now, I know on the chart it doesn't look like a big difference, but that is a 25% move to the upside. So I actually called this move to 20,000 perfectly because I had zero intention of calling this a high. I had a much higher probability of this being a high, but even this came close to being a double top, at least intraday. What I was hoping for is to get one of these 5 candles on 11/29 as the candle on 12/3, on December 3. I really should talk dates more because I know some people only listen to the audio of this and they don't really watch the videos. But my other high was trying to call it perfectly right here because this is how tops look. They go straight up into a doji. When this 9 came, again, this was a double top 9 versus the November 5th high. The 9 that showed up on November 22nd was a 9 that had nothing to do with the with a sustained high leading us to the downside, because it was a double top, and double tops is what I call unicorns that break the price out to the upside. Okay, so I never had a clean top on a 9. What made it more complicated was that the weekly chart was giving you bullish signs, because the 9 on a weekly chart showed up at the end of November at only 11,000, and then we immediately went to the upside. So my metrics were saying, hey, we should top around 25,000, not 20. Once we started to fall, we made a secondary high, but this could have been the return to range that got us all nervous. But then you made a higher high. Upon making this higher high, again, it's coming in on a 5, even though it's coming off an aggressive 13, which I haven't even released to my private clients yet. Still, just no time to fully test the code out. And I think there's a minor bug in it, which I need to, well, it's not that big a difference, but you know, you want to make these things perfect. And at this point, I have no idea if this is this point. You know what? Nobody does. And if someone tells you that they have, that they knew this for a fact, take a look at their history. Take a look at their following, right? This could be probably the first call they ever did. They took a guess. If they get it wrong, no one will hear from them again. If they get it right, they're going to milk that one call for the rest of history, okay? I have a 4-year history of predicting these things. Go back to the Cointelegraph articles of 2014. We're finally in 2018. So at this point, I'm looking for a little more upside. And if we can get to the double top of 20,000, I become even more bullish than I am at the dips, because we're going to break out. We went to the downside. It really, really sucks that this right here is a green 1 and this is not a 9 reversal. But now we've come back. We've retested resistance. Sorry, we've retested support as resistance. And this is the time to potentially enter your short positions, right? Right here, just under 13,000. Would have been nice to come back into the moving average, into the higher Fibonacci, into the bottom of the triangle. But there's this red thick line was here from last video for a reason. And now we are going down. And the moment we get back below this Fibonacci line at just under 11,000, it's a thick zone, guys. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm sorry, but this is a thick zone, okay? Let me grab a rectangle, right? So I'm gonna grab this rectangle, and I'm gonna put this zone here. So I have this dotted line. I know it's a little thin. Maybe I'll thicken it, right? I'm looking for 11,000 round number. At the bottom of that zone, like my mouse is like drifting on its own. It's so annoying. This is my zone. I know it's a thick support zone that you can put a truck through, but so coordinates. So the even number of 11,000, and I don't know what that value is, but probably around a little higher than that. So 10,750. Maybe it's not that thick of a zone. Let me double click on this. Oops. I gotta click on the indicator. There we go. You can adjust all of these parameters, guys. TDST line, here we go. Make it thicker. Boom. This dotted line. I made my lines thicker. Okay. So this is your support zone. But this support zone won't hold. It won't hold again, right? I don't expect it to hold. Let me put it this way. All right. Like there's 3 levels of support here. The 11,000 round number, the Fibonacci line at 10,930, and this TIST. This is the TI version of the indicator. I need to, stop infringing on trademarks and rename these things in full because my code is adjusted from the original code, from the Wall Street code. And this dotted line. I think all of this is going to crack. I think it's going to crack. And it already held it once. It held it twice. It may hold it a third time, but that would be all she wrote. Okay. I wouldn't short here, but if we fall below this line one more time, that is a clean shortable position from 11,000 all the way down to 7,500. I see no support here. There is none. There is nothing here. It's open air. Okay. So we can move this arrow over a little bit. I have no idea when it comes. I'll be adjusting this arrow, but this arrow will be here. This arrow is no different than this arrow. I came up just short on a target, just short. It's no different than this arrow. Again, I came up just short on my target. Well, this target was hit pretty well, actually. No, this was a good buy. I thought that if we fall back below it, which we never did, we'd go lower. Because you can't make double bottoms. Okay, this is a bottom. That was held up by the moving average. This was held up by the moving average. Let's zoom out. Spending a lot of time on this. This shouldn't even be a brief. I guess this is more like the trading Bitcoin version, but oh well. Anyway, now we're below the moving average. We didn't fully test it to the upside. We even got stopped short. I mean, I see nothing bullish here. The daily looks pretty bad. Let's hope we can get a 9 count from here to here. We get capitulation and we time it. I would love to see it back at 7,500, guys. I really, really would. It would be a nice, clean pullback. It'll put people that FOMO'd back in their place. Lots of good things will happen. My seminars will become cheap. You can attend, you can learn how to trade, and you can buy this dip perfectly, okay? So that's what I'm looking at from the daily. I'll adjust that later. Here's the hourly, here's the 4 hour. That's the one I tweeted out. I mean, this 13, I know you guys didn't really see it unless you watch my videos, so not even clients have this yet. Was a nice bounce to the upside. This 9 helps you bounce a little bit. The 54-hour moving average reversed you. This 9 helped you buy the dip. This 13 helped you buy the secondary dip. This 9 was a perfect sell indication, right? A few of my clients were able to time this doji absolutely perfectly. This 9 stopped below the setup trend line, and down we go. We are now on a 6. If we can get a 9 above this dotted line, you could get a bit of a reversal here. I tweeted out yesterday, like right as this was happening. This is definitely shortable. Okay, so normally, and I always tell people, hey, when a red number starts trading below the prior red number, that's a short trade. However, traditional trading tells you to short right here. But when you get a doji at the top of a trend, you start trading back below the doji and you have a 9 with a red arrow, and you saw my resistance lines here and here. I drew them in last video. This is totally shortable right up there, right? You can add to your short position right here once you start trading below the 50-period moving average. You can then add to your short position again right here because the numerical random number generator gave you a red 2 below a red 1. All of these are short positions. Now let's talk about your stop losses. Where would your stop losses be? Your initial stop loss is below the swing high. Once it starts to go down, you lower it to the top of the doji. The moment this giant red candle happened, boom, you set a break-even stop loss. If you were early to jump in on this off the bottom of the doji. Now you're here. Where should your stop loss be? Well, your stop loss should now be down here, like right above that last big candle. The moment you break below the lows, basically you just got a swing high off this reversal hammer. Do I think this hammer is going to reverse the price all the way? I don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see 3 more 4-hour candles. I mean, I'll be on airplanes. I'll be traveling. I don't even know if I'll have Wi-Fi. I'm going to another island. So let's see how good my Wi-Fi is. The moment you get a new closing low and probably a new swing low, you then lower your stop loss to just above the prior high. Okay, that's how you proper do stop losses. Okay, so I guess I'll leave these things here. Or whatever. Hourly chart. Let's see if the hourly chart helped you. This 9 came on what hour? This was January 20th at 1500 New York time. Okay, so where's January 20th at 1500 New York time? So that was right around here. So the hourly chart didn't really help you time this, but you did get a 9 right here in that vicinity. Okay, you stayed below this line. This is called the risk line. Here's what this line means. If you get this red arrow on a 9 and you shorted off of this 9, this is your stop loss. You can see how off of this 9, your stop loss was never hit. This is automatically generated. Now, it also means that if you go above and close above this line, then this 9 is now leading into the countdown to a 13. But we never went above this line, so the countdown stopped at number 8 because we got this 9. It canceled it. This 9 didn't really reverse you much, but it kicked off a count to the downside. Now, we now have another 9. We have a 1, 2, 4 candle correction on the hourly. It looks like it has come to an end after just 2 candles, and now we're going back to the downside. Now we're on 11. We start to go down. We'll get a 12 and a 13, but we have another 9. So on the hourly chart, you can stick a line, an additional support line right here below the lows. You also have your risk line. If you went long off of this lime arrow, which means it's not perfected, this is your stop loss. I would not go long here, maybe for a 1, 2, 4 candle scalp, but that's it. Once you go below this red line and you make a new swing low, I am looking for a complete down swing. Maybe we'll reverse in the 8,000s. I don't know. But what I do know is that this low will not hold us again. This low will be like this low. See how this looked good until it went back there and we broke below. If we come back, treat this tip of the low on January 17th when we went as low as 9,500. Treat this low like we treat this low at 11,000 back on December 22nd. It's not going to hold us up again. If we get here, we're going lower. You need one of these things to be sustained. If you come back there, you're in trouble. All right. Do I have anything else? I still have the Ripple chart. I don't know why. Oh, it's not even Ripple. That's B-Trash. Oh, my God, B-Trash. Let's talk about B-Trash. Let's not talk about B-Trash. Who cares about B-Trash? You are looking at all of these triangles, okay? Triangles. This is such shit. Like I think I'm giving it too much credit by calling it shit. Like at least manure is useful in society. B-Trash isn't. Triangle down. I draw best fit triangles. There's your triangle. Did this triangle ever reach its target? No, it didn't. Okay, let's draw another triangle. All right, one of these days, this thing is gonna completely fall apart. Okay, And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like, I am 100% sure that these arrows are going to be 100% right, okay? Because I don't trade scams. I don't trade pure garbage, okay? I can't time pure garbage. I trade real things that are supposed to go up, okay? Sometimes they go down, but they're supposed to go up. This is why I trade stocks. This is why I generally trade commodities. Currencies kind of go up and down, but all of these descending triangles, they're not going to end well. And one of these days, this shit is going to just tank. And I'll be very happy. I'll be very happy. What is this? Ripple. God, another one. Another pure garbage. I don't know. Just wait for the new low. You know, it'll go back to a penny. This thing is useless. All right. I don't really have anything else. I do want to enjoy at least 30 minutes in the pool. Let me just look and see if there's any news. This is how I check for news, guys. I usually just go to Whale Panda's Twitter, or to the Meester's Twitter. All right. A post from 2010, 0827. As a thought experiment, imagine there was a base metal as a scarce as gold. This is like Satoshi talking about Bitcoin. Cool. Let's see here. That's me. Beauty On, another good Twitter account to follow. Let's see what Paul Krugman said. As I see it, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are in effect like digital gold coins in the sense that they can't be counterfeited. A gold coin is worth its weight in gold, no more, no less. All right, and what did Beauty On say? Bitcoin is a database, nothing more. Some people use its functions to simulate money, but that has nothing to do with its nature. Bitcoin has nothing to do with how anyone sees it, how you use it. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a very good point. See if Whale Panda has something for us. Oh, Lightning Nodes, Lightning Nodes. Dennis, thanks for the heads up. So I added a website. Where is it? Hold on. I added a website to my, shoot. Nope, not it. Here it is, here it is. I added a website to my video descriptions. That shows you information on Lightning Nodes. Okay, I'm not even sure how to use this yet. Once I get home in February, I will be looking to set up a Lightning node. I have no idea how to do that. I have no idea how it would work. I would use it for real transactions, and I will go ahead and do that. And yeah, so, and people are starting to use them. People are really starting to use Lightning. Like here's a Reddit post. All right, let me grab it from another monitor. Here's the Reddit post, right? So TorGuard, the VPN service that I also use, and I have a 50% discount code in my video descriptions. They sold a router and they took in the payment through a Lightning node, and they think it was the first ever Lightning transaction for a physical product for sale. Okay, I would love to use my Lightning node for paying for my seminars and whatever else I'm selling, which isn't much, but yeah, it's happening, guys. It's happening. Oh, I don't want to dox myself. I think I did that fast enough without doxing. It's a skill of mine. Dox yourself on live television. Again, hey, check out my affiliate codes. They're almost all of them are discount codes, guys. Save some money. Save some money. TourGuard, 50%. 50% discount code, but use the link and use the discount code. There's two things there, link and discount code. BitMax is just the link, save 10% on commissions. I think it's 5% off discount on a Cryptomatic, 20% discount on Buy the Dip gear. I'm going to be wearing more Buy the Dip gear. I have sad news, though. I lost my Bitcoin bandana on the cruise. I'm sorry, guys. I had one Bitcoin bandana. It was given to me. I don't know if any more of them exist. It was like a unique thing, and my Bitcoin bandana's gone. So I gotta custom make some new Bitcoin bandanas. All right, but those are my affiliate codes. Let me turn on the camera here. Hold on. I'm in a really cool spot right now, and all right, what's going on here? Boom. All right. I'm coming to you from a gorgeous apartment here in Singapore. Really, really cool. Really enjoying my stay here. I'm not going to dox where I'm staying, but this is really, really awesome. And thank you so much for watching me live. Let me see how long the cord is. Maybe I can disconnect. Let me disconnect. I'll show you guys. Show you what I'm working with. Let me see what you're seeing. Get the laptop here. All right. Let me show you Singapore. Like I said, I'm in a gorgeous apartment. Got the mirror right there. You can see me in the mirror. And so Singapore. So I have a flight in about an hour or two. But before the flight, that's where I'm about to go. About to go down in there. All right. Really, really cool. Look at some of the buildings. Really awesome. A nice Singapore skyline. Really cool. Really, really cool. That's all I can say. I have to leave the camera here so we can like focus for a bit. I still have 1,200 live viewers. So this is where I've stayed the last few days. Really want to come back here. Thank you for my followers for hooking me up with awesome places to stay and taking me out and showing me the area. All right, guys. I will see you all on the next one. I am generally, as a summary, I am generally bearish Bitcoin. Let's see if I'm right. You never know. If I see anything change, if I see a reversal, I will let you know. And since I have a lot of new followers these days, I just want to explain something to you. I don't actively trade directional Bitcoin. I'm a buy and holder. That means I am not emotionally invested in the price of Bitcoin other than as a long-term hold. As a long-term holder, I fully understand the back-end technology of Bitcoin. I can't program it, but I understand why it exists and I understand who's programming it. Bitcoin can fall to $1,000 and all I'm going to do is buy up as many Bitcoin as I can. Now, would you buy up as much B-Trash as you could if the value of a B-Trash has fallen 98% from its high? The answer is hell no, okay? So, but Bitcoin, I absolutely would. So I am not emotionally invested in any short-term call other than, my desire to be right. But my desire to be right can instantly reverse once the price reverses, okay? I don't get married to my trades. Which reminds me, I got to start trading traditional markets because earnings season has begun. Anyway, I want to go. I want to jump in a pool, and I will talk to you all on the next one. Bye, guys.